Oh, let's rock on with the lesson. Okay, factors are polynomials that multiply together to make a product. Those are some examples. Factoring is the process of determining what factors multiply together to make a given product. Alright, let's get serious here. So, we're going to look at a method of factoring called the bottoms-up method. And you'll see why it's called bottoms-up when we get to the very last step here. So, okay, we're going to look at this example here. We're going to split this little polynomial into two binomials, where those binomials are going to be the factors. And that's the whole purpose of this, is we're looking for what two binomials multiply together to make 5x squared plus 13x minus 6 in this case. So the first step in this method is you have to multiply the first and last terms together. Well, 5 times negative 6, because I'm ignoring the x's right now, just 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. Just need to keep track of this number for a minute. The number in the middle is, by the way, this is negative 30. We're going to think of this as the multiply number. The number in the middle we're going to think of as the add number. So that's positive 13. Now what we need to do is we need to sit and think what two numbers both multiply to make negative 30 and add to make 13. Well, I can think of 10 times 3 makes 30, and 10 plus 3 makes 13, but we got to think of things like this little negative sign here. I said positive 10 and positive 3. Those do add to make 13, but those don't multiply to make negative 30, so I got to think of something else. So how about positive 15 and negative 2? These two numbers multiply to make negative 30, and when you add them together you get positive 13. So this process is a little bit of a guess and check method. You have to look at your multiply number and your add number. You just have to sit there and think, okay, just name anything that multiplies to, in this case, negative 30. I said 10 and 3, and I was wrong, because they don't multiply to make negative 30. But 15 and negative 2 both multiplied and added to these numbers, so that's what we were looking for. Now that I've got these numbers, I'm going to write this in factored form. Factored form is just going to be, two binomials. In this case, 15 is positive, so I'll write x plus 15. That's one of my factors. And the 2 here is negative, so I'm going to write that as x minus 2. And this is what I mean by factored form. I'm just putting it in parentheses with an x, and if it's positive, I write a plus. If it's negative, I write a minus. So this is factored form here. Now, we have one really big major step to do next, and that's to take this original a value, which was 5 here, and I need to go back and I need to divide the 15 and the negative 2 by that 5. So x plus 15 is being divided by 5, and x minus 2 is being divided by 5. Now, if the division can be simplified, then do so. Can I simplify 15 over 5? Absolutely. 15 over 5 is 3. So x plus 3 is one of my final factors. Can 2 over 5 be simplified? No. So if the fraction does not simplify, then bring the bottom of the fraction up in front of the x. That's why this is called bottoms up, because I'm going to take the bottom part of this fraction, which is the 5, I'm going to bring it up in front of the x. So then I'm going to have now 5x minus 2. This is not a fraction anymore, because I took the bottom part of the fraction and I moved it up. Again, bottoms up. Moved up in front of my x. And now we have correctly factored this original problem down into here. I would definitely rewatch any of those steps that confused you, because now we're going to do some examples. So 6x squared minus 17x plus 10. Step 1, identify my multiply number. 6 times 10, my multiply number is 60. Usually I just write like an m equals 60, and my add number is negative 17. I might write these things just for myself to kind of keep track of these numbers, because especially if they're big numbers, it could be difficult to keep track of it. Okay, so let's think of anything at all that multiplies to make 60. Okay, well I know 6 and 10 multiply to make 60, but is there any way that I can add or subtract these numbers to make negative 17? No, not going to happen. So that doesn't work. I could think of 2 and 30, okay, but once again, those numbers, while they do multiply to 60, I can't think of any way to add or subtract them to make a 17. Okay, how about 5 and 12? Well, okay, 5 and 12 do add to make positive 17, so if I want them to make negative 17, I'm just going to make both of them negative. Now let's just double check. Does negative 5 times negative 12 make positive 60? You betcha. Does negative 5 plus negative 12 make negative 17? Yes. So then these two numbers, ding, 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 are the numbers I was looking for to put in factored form. So now we write them in factored form: x minus 5, x minus 12. Now the next crucial step is to take the a value, which is 6, and I need to divide both of these numbers by that 6. And if I can simplify it, I need to simplify it. Well, let's see. 5 over 6 doesn't simplify at all. So this is where bottoms up comes in. I'm going to take the bottom number, which is 6, and move it up in front of the x. Meaning now I've got 6x minus 5. And over here, 12 divided by 6, that does simplify perfectly. That's exactly 2. So then that's x minus 2. I can even check this real fast just to see that we did it right by using the FOIL process. That would kind of be like a last step, especially in the beginning, to check to make sure you're doing it correctly. So we just off to the side here, I'm going to FOIL this to make sure it's correct. 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 2 is negative 12x. Okay, now FOIL the negative 5 times the x is negative 5x. And the negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. And let's check that. Combine these together, that makes negative 17x. And I have the 6x squared and the plus 10 still. And does this match my original? Yes, it does. So, by foiling, I checked to make sure that I did it correctly. Now you don't have to come out and ask me, Mr. Copeland, is this correct? Because you can just FOIL it and check yourself. Last example. Okay, x squared minus 5x plus 6. So again, step 1, I need to find the multiply number and the add number. The multiply number is this first coefficient times this last number. Well, the coefficient here is a 1. 1 times 6 is 6. That's my multiply number. And my add number is always the middle number, which is negative 5. So what two numbers multiply to make 6? I can think of course, 1 and 6. But while I can subtract 6 minus 1 to get 5, I can't make both of these negative to make it negative 5. So it's not going to be these. So I think, what else multiplies to make 6? Okay, 2 and 3. And yes, 2 plus 3 does make negative 5. And if I make both of them negative, then I do get negative 5. So then negative 2 and negative 3 are my numbers that I'm going to put in factored form. So that'd be x minus 2 and x minus 3. Now again, I'm going to take that leading coefficient, which is 1, and divide both of these by 1. Well, guess what? If I divide anything by 1, it's going to remain the same. So this is kind of a moot point, or in other words, whenever the leading coefficient is 1, you don't really have to do this last step. That means that really this x minus 2 times x minus 3, that is the answer. And again, just go back, rewatch the video if you need to, especially looking back over the steps, and take good notes. Come ready to ask questions if you need to, and I'll see you guys in class.